My name is Ron Holiday, and you're listening to the 3 Count Podcast.
Weighing in at an unbelievable weight that you might hate, but you can't even
During high class, we trying to drag ball that.
Welcome everybody to another
Now-
great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I am your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller. You know, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. But like every good Sherpa, which is what you're going to refer to me as, you got to have someone who's been there, done that, and has more experience than you and can show you how to get up the mountain more efficiently. And so it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. And today, you can find this man at SCWA. You can find this man at Outbreak. You can find this man at Voltage, EPPW, AXW, GWC. This is the man known as Captain Decapitate.
Wow, I'm at all those places. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that. Yeah, Captain Decapitate is my heel wrestling manager persona. Right now I'm just Jesse L. Green, but I'll tell you everything you want to know about Captain Decapitate and more.
Well, great, because we can talk about that. You know, but number one, I want to know, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. We're finally coming back from the COVID. Shows are starting up, and I've got the Captain Decapitate character. I've got a character named Captain Mango. I do a radio DJ, internet radio DJ show. Still working some movies as Jesse L. Green. Other than that, I sleep. I'm old enough. I can sleep when I want to.
You know, it's interesting though, because like we met a few times, like, you know, obviously like with Sickin, and we've met at different shows and stuff like that. So I've always been interested in like just asking you, like, man, like how did you all right, first let's ask the question. Who is Captain Decapitate / who is Captain Mango / who is Jesse Green? I gotta know. Who are you?
Okay. You say this is only a half an hour show, right? I'll give you the condensed version. I've been a Jimmy Buffett fan as long as I can remember. I think the first time I saw him in concert was in '85. He still had the long blonde hair, and he might have only had Come Monday and Margaritaville out at the time. And Buffett tailgating is, we get there at as early as what we can in the morning by 10 o'clock to set up for a concert that night. And it kind of becomes a little city in its own. People set up tiki bars. I've seen people bring in loads of sand, real palm trees. And so I decided probably 16, 17 years ago that I wanted to become a pirate. And my goal in life at that time was just to make it on the big screen at a Buffett concert. Well, I've made it on the big screen so many times. I've been in some of his videos as background people. I know all the coral reefers. I've never met Jimmy personally. That's still on my bucket list. But from that, I went to a concert one year, and Kenny Chesney was playing later that season. So I go back to see Kenny. And at that time, there was a lot of cowboy boots and cowboy hats. And as a pirate, I kind of stood out. He's gotten a whole lot more trop rock since then. And so I'm in like the fifth row. They dropped the curtain. I knew Kenny saw me because he walked over his guitar player, pointed at me, and they both smiled. And I thought, wow, that was worth the price of admission right there. About halfway through the concert, one of the security guys at the venue comes up to me and he goes, "Come with me." And I said, "What did I do?" And I knew him from going to this venue so often. And he goes, "Just come with me." So we're walking up the aisle, and he's going, "You know what? You're not going to believe it. I'm working backstage tonight, and Kenny wants you up on stage." So don't ask me what happened that time out on stage, because This was at Nissan Pavilion that probably seats, I would guess, I'm a poor judge of people, but I would guess 25,000 people, 28,000 people maybe with lawn. And when you walk out on that stage, man, it just, all you start seeing is people and people and people and people and people. So I have no idea what was said that time. But anyhow, move on from that. I've been on stage with him, out on stage with him one other time. And then two other times, if he sees me in the audience, he'll send security out to get me so I can watch the concert from the side of the stage. So probably 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, an actress from DC saw my pirate pictures and wanted to do a photo shoot with me. She at the time she was big into steampunk, so she wanted to do a steampunk pirate photo shoot. We did it. We hit it off, and she said, "You need to be in the movies." And I said, "Well, hook me up." So she got me in a movie called Milfs versus Zombies, and I was just to be there one day to play a pirate zombie. And I guess I did okay because they had me back for 9 more days of shooting. And I played 10 different zombies in that movie.
Wow.
And that was, like I said, 6, 7 years ago. And I've been involved with, boy, it's tough too, because there's some movies I've worked on that haven't come out yet. There's some that won't ever come out. You know, that's just the movie business. But probably around 50 movies I've been involved with, and starred in a couple, but, you know, a lot of them are just, co-starring roles. Well, one of the movies I did probably about 3 years ago was called Wrestle Massacre. And I got to work with like 6'8" big name wrestlers, which for me, I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 8 years old. And for me, that was just dream come true to be able to meet these guys and actually work with them. And I got to talking to a guy that I met, Ryan Box from Outbreak Wrestling. And I told him my love for wrestling. And I said, I've never been physically fit enough to think about being a wrestler, but I'd love to try being a manager. So I showed him Captain Mango, and he goes, "Yeah, we'll give you a try." He said, "But we need a heel." And I said, "Well, I can't make Captain Mango a bad guy. You know, I've worked quite a few years on establishing that character." So I came up with Captain Capitate. He's just a little bit nastier version of Captain Mango. Instead of wearing, you know, white shirts and bright colors and light pants and all, I wear all black and wear whiteout contacts and blacken out my eyes. So I look a whole lot more evil. And Captain Decapitate is pretty much an asshole. You know, he's I'm not sure that character has many friends. You know, I hope I do in the wrestling business, but I don't think that character has many friends. And so I tried it out, and I've been in all the and probably a couple you didn't mention because some of them were just a one-time show, you know, somewhere. But it's been good. It's been good. Heck of a lot of fun. I tell people I've been a pirate for probably, man, I don't know, 18 years, something like that. And at one time, I still own it, but at one time I had a $90,000 custom chopper that I would go to bike shows, and I'd have girls that work with me as my wenches and mermaids. And I thought, man, that's the most fun I'm ever going to have in life, right there. And then when I got into acting in movies, I thought, no, that's the most fun I'm ever going to have in life. Neither one of those two compare to professional, right? I mean, you know, you're involved in the business. There is no better feeling than standing behind that curtain. And I've been around long enough that they start booing me, you know, and you stand back there and waiting for your music to break and, you know, go out. And I just figure out how it can piss them off more. You know, if you're a heel and you don't get a mic in your hand, which you don't when you first start out, you can only piss people off one-on-one. But once you get that mic in your hand, you can piss off the whole venue all at one time. So it's a whole lot easier being a heel with a mic in your hand.
You know,
So
it's inter-
that's
I was gonna
boom.
say it's interesting because I remember meeting you and I remember just seeing you backstage and I was like, who is that? Like I gravitated to you. And I remember like you came out with a person who's been on the show, Randy Lawson, and I was like, oh, I don't understand. Like, and I see Randy's character and I see you, and I was like, are they like a pirate team? Like I was, but like I was just so I found myself so like wrapped up, and I was like, I can't separate myself from the fan aspect and the wrestling aspect. Like I'm just genuinely together. I'm just a huge mark of it. So I was like, all right. I was like, I don't care. I just enjoy watching you guys work.
Oh man, I'm still a total mark, even on the indie shows. I just I like I said, I've been a wrestling fan basically all my life. I've never swayed away from it, never not been a wrestling fan. And now to be able to get involved with it, even at the independent level, and now I'm right at ringside and I see the stuff that you all do. There are a lot of times I don't have to fake, emotions or selling something, because I'm just like, oh man, how did he not get hurt doing that? It's but yeah, Randy is probably might be one of my least connected characters to me. Because who I work with a lot is Sabal Del Mar from up around Hamburg, Pennsylvania, and he's in fact I way back when him and I met, I kind of renewed his enthusiasm for professional wrestling, and he came up with the character Sabal Del Mar. He's supposed to be I think a 317-year-old sea demon. And so he's about the closest that I come, and I've had guys, we've called him the Crew of Blood. Had got a tag team now, they call it the Dead Sea, and I just hooked up about a month ago with Beastman from out in Wheeling, West Virginia area, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and I think what they try to do is hook me up with odd characters. I'm not sure Lawson is odd, but it works.
Look, Lawson is just an asshole. I'll say it. I know you paying attention, Lawson. I know you watching this. Like, he's just an asshole.
Hey man, if you're watching, I want to thank you for not being able to make the show last Saturday night, because you know what happens. You don't get booked, I don't get booked. But I hope SCWA had a good show last. Were you at that one?
Yeah, I was at that one. I was
Yeah.
at the last SCWA show. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get booked because Randy couldn't make it, and
Was it that Randy couldn't make it, or that Randy chose not to make it because he doesn't like people from West Virginia?
well, probably a combination.
He's
Yeah.
just like, oh, I can't make the show.
Yeah. Well, I
West
know he likes
Virginia.
what's the town that shows in
Glendale.
Glendale.
Yeah.
I know he has something going on with the fans there where he
They don't like him.
Yeah, I'm not sure but when we're out there, I hear him chanting Glendale, and it seems like he's cheering them on, but I guess in some way making fun of them. I don't know.
Well, I loved it one time, like we were there, and for our fans, they can actually go check out the SCW page, because we've actually had SCWA actually on the show too as well. But they can go check it out. They can see where Lawson was like, someone was like, go back to Glendale. He's like, we're in Glendale.
That's what they do. Yeah. That's what they do.
I love the fans, man. I just love the fans giving them back to just to everybody.
Well, I'm not sure. Now that I say Lawson couldn't make it, I'm not sure Commissioner Willie wasn't behind us not being there. He doesn't like me. He some couple shows back, he accused me of cheating and had me thrown out of the arena. And then Lawson lost the title when he clearly won it without any outside interference from me. I don't Captain Decapitate doesn't cheat. We
Yeah.
don't cheat,
Who would
you
have
know?
guessed?
And it insults me that he accuses me of that. So, you know, it might have been him not booking us. And now I understand they're not going to have a show till springtime now. So I guess that'll just build up my my hate to him till it's going to come down. There's going to be a match either between Commissioner Willie and I, or one of my guys and who he picks.
Yeah.
And he might not want to see who one of my guys are. So that's for you, Commissioner Willie. That's for you.
Speaking of a possible match between you guys, I'm just curious, like, as a manager, what's the worst bump you've taken?
I took a chair to the back down in EPPW from Eric Ecton. I've taken a kick to the head from Chris Slade up in Outbreak. Actually, he brought in because I hate being called Captain Crunch, and he claimed I cheated, chased me around the ring. I went into the ring, and he somehow hid a box of Captain Crunch, brought it into the ring, threw it at me. As soon as I caught it, he kicked the box right into my head and completely knocked me out. So,
Yeah.
you know, I probably got some pretty hard bumps coming up because when we had our Voltage show a couple weeks ago, that was my introduction of Beastman. Were you in that show?
I was not there, but I
Okay.
have heard.
Yeah,
about
there was well, first off, Sicken, I love you, man. You know, you've trained me. You're my mentor, and I was complete seriousness when I came in that I wanted to congratulate you. You know, this isn't really between you and me, but I'm a pirate and I like gold, and you got gold, and I'll come right through you to get it, but sorry. And so, you know, he beat Corey Bush, went back in the ring and started celebrating, holding the belt over his head and everything. And it was too much for Beastman and I. So I go back in and kind of sucker him into, and Beastman comes in and just annihilates him. And some of the Ride City guys came in, he annihilated them. And then he threw, man, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 chairs into the ring. We're chasing people out of seats. And Nick was not happy about that because he wasn't folding the chairs up. He was just throwing them in open. So the legs and the back and the seat was all hitting over Nick. So I don't think Sicken is real happy with me now. And you know, I'm sorry, Nick. I really don't care. You know, I really don't care. Like I said, I don't have anything against you, buddy. It's just I like gold. You got gold, and I think Beastman can take that away from me. We got a show coming up in 2 weeks here in Hagerstown for Voltage Wrestling, and I got Hyena Hex. Yeah, is going up against him. Now I don't know. I got an ongoing feud with the owner of Voltage Wrestling too, because he didn't book me for the first show because they had in fact, this all goes back. Sicken wouldn't have the belt if they would have let Beastman in that original tournament way back at the original show, but he wouldn't allow him in. So that's another whole issue. But I just saw the ad on Facebook once it came back up that it's a non-title match. So, you know, I'm going to have some choice words between now and a week from Saturday, the 16th, about that. How come I bring a guy in and I can't get a title match. You know, what's, you know, I don't understand why you do that. Independent show, people are paying good money to come there. The champion's involved in it. Why can't it be a title match? You know, you're cheating the fans. Like I said,
Yeah.
I never cheat, so I don't like seeing fans cheated.
Hey,
Uh,
you know what? Captain makes a point though. Captain makes a point. Like I can't fault the logic.
You know, why even show up and have a match if I was thinking of an analogy, but the only analogies I can think of, you know, aren't clean analogies.
That's fine. Don't worry about that
Well, it's
part.
kind of like it's odd go one, you know, having a non-title match with the champ involved. It is kind of like kissing your sister. Why? Why? You know?
Just so you can
Why?
tie? What? No.
Yeah, so we can, you know, so my guy wins. What do we get? What do we get? You know, I might
Yep.
even pull my guy out halfway through the match. What's it matter? You know, go, okay, we're done. It doesn't matter anyhow. We're out of here. We earned our gate money, you know?
This is very true. It's very true. I'm curious though, man, like, cause you've been in the business for a while, but you've also, I mean, let's just be real. You're mad experienced. So I just need to know something, regardless if it's whether in life or in the wrestling business. What's been one of the hardest lessons you've had to learn?
Oh, let me see. There's a couple of them. One of the biggest lessons in life is that not everybody you meet in life is meant to be there for the rest of your life. Some people are just meant to get you from point A to point B. And that's hard to sometimes that's hard to accept, you know, that somebody that was important to you in whatever way, business, wrestling, personal, and then they're not part of your life anymore. It's not always a bad thing. You know, they got you from wherever you were at to wherever you're at now, and that was their job. So and same way in wrestling, like I said, you know, Nick trained me. I think he trained me pretty well, but you know, it's gotten to the point now where, you know, Sick and I've crossed paths. So, you know, thanks for the training, buddy, but we'll see how well you train me.
I like it. I like it a lot. So normally, like wrestlers, I don't know how it is really with managers, but usually wrestlers don't eat before a show. They usually have like that big post-match meal or even that post-match snack. So I'm very curious about it. What is your post-event meal?
I don't really have one. I don't, and it's not for any reason because I'm not out there. I'm certainly not out there doing the physical stuff that you all do. You know, I mean, I try to, the way I look at it is I'm out there for 10 minutes. I'm not the main attraction there. It's certainly, you know, the 2 guys or the 4 guys or six guys in the ring, you know, they're the main attraction, but I'm kind of a side attraction. And so what I try to do during the whole match is I try to move around the ring for a couple reasons. One, if I stay in one area of the ring, those people didn't pay their $20 for that front row seat to see my ass for 10 minutes, you know? But on the other hand, those people on the other side of the ring didn't pay $20 to not see me. So I try to move around the ring, and it's I've gotten advice against that, you know, that I move too much, that, you know, if my guy happens to be in the ring and needs help, he doesn't know where I'm at to get help. But I just try to move. You know, I don't want to be, and I've talked to some Hill, you know, managers that say, you know, if they get somebody that says, hey, you're in my way, they'll just stand there and make themselves as big as what they can. Well, you know, Captain Decapitated isn't that much of an asshole, you know? I wouldn't like it if I paid that $20 for that seat and somebody stood in front of me the whole match, you know?
Yeah.
So, plus, as I get around the ring, I can piss off more people, you know?
Block more people. See, you don't want to be an asshole to one person. You want to be an asshole to everybody.
I want to distribute my assholeness.
I get it. I get it. All right. All right. So no real
Because
post.
you were at the match up in what's that new company up
Oh,
in
HWF.
HWF. You were at that match, right?
I was there.
Yeah. Um, they say that I threw hot sauce in the guy's eyes. I haven't seen the video footage of it yet. I thought he was asking me to taste it, and I might have spilled a little bit on him, but they say I intentionally threw it in his eyes. But until I see the video, you know. When we go
from what I heard, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. I tell you what, that was the in the wrestling business. When I had watched it all those years, not only as a fan, but as I watched it as a business, as an entertainment entity, you know. And so when I was able to get involved in it, I kind of understood what we're out there doing. You know, we're there to entertain the people. If you're a face, you're there to make them love you. If you're a heel, you're there to make them hate you. And although a funny story, before my first show, I have a house down in Daytona Beach, and Jimmy Hart used to have a bar about 3-4 miles from my house. And every time I was down there, I'd go watch Raw and SmackDown with him. You know, nothing cooler than watching Raw and SmackDown on a stool beside Jimmy Hart, you know? And so I asked him before the first match, I said, so how, because Captain Mango had never been used to being, and I've never been used to being booed or hated, you know? And I said, Jimmy, how do you handle that? And he goes, baby, let me tell you. He said, every boo you hear is a cheer. And he said, the worst thing is you want to go out, if you go out there and you don't hear any noise. He said, that's the worst thing. And that's what I found. That's what promoters want to hear. You know, they want to hear noise. And I have to tell you, that night with the hot sauce incident, as I'll call it,
Hot sauce gate.
Yeah, hot sauce gate. I think that was the most heat I think I've ever drew. They were a hot crowd that night. And then they weren't a super big crowd. What do you think? 100 maybe?
No, I think it was more than that. Probably like 50, 150, 200.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I had done a show, I think right before that or right after that, for like over 400 people up at the Hamburg Fieldhouse. But now there had been a convention all day long, and Hamburg Fieldhouse doesn't have air conditioning. So if you're ever going to do a show in Hamburg Fieldhouse, prepare, because it gets scorching in there in the summertime. But they had been there for convention all day, and we were like I think the second match out, and I couldn't get those people to clap or boo. And that was a long 10 minutes. If you can't get the as a heel, if you can't get the audience involved. And it was the guys in the ring were hot. I'm not sure their performance was up to even their standards. And so, a lot of it led to it. But yeah, I've been, EPPW, they used to only draw 50, maybe 60 people, but they were a good hot crowd. And so that's what you need if you're a manager. Does it work the same way for you in the ring? You feed off noise?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. I think about it like this, right? So it's something I think about a lot, and it's funny because you kind of touched on it with Jimmy saying it, right? It's just that I think about just like Eric Bischoff does, right? Where Eric Bischoff used to say that whether they love you or they hate you, business is good, Like
Yeah.
that's all you want. You either want them to love you or you want them to hate you. But either way, business good. It's when you don't get reactions is when like
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
good. That's when things have to like you have to change things to get them to do something. So I
And
always think about that when I go out
and
there.
that probably doesn't matter how good a performer you are. You know, in the ring or as a manager, if you can't get the crowd involved, promoters aren't going to book you.
No.
You know, but I think nowadays, most of the wrestling fans understand the entertainment value of professional wrestling. You know, because I mean, I can't look around and see exactly who's booing me or who's hitting me in the back as I walk by or who's cussing me or whatever. But I sell a lot of merchandise, and I'll sell that a lot of merchandise after I had a match where they were booing me for 10 minutes. So, but then again, my character being a pirate, way back when I started doing this, Cliff, I had no idea the universal appeal of pirates. I mean, it doesn't matter, what race, male, female, young, old, everybody loves pirates. And so I think even though I'm an asshole, I think the fact that I'm a pirate gives me a little play there. It might
Oh,
be different if I was just a manager out there in a suit and tie and I was an asshole. I probably wouldn't sell merchandise at all. But people like pirates.
oh, people want to be things that they aren't themselves. Like, you catch those people who are like, I want to be a military guy, but like I never was in the military. But then you see people who are like, I always wanted to be an astronaut, or I always wanted to be a pirate, or I always wanted to be, like Red Dog, which I don't know if anybody says that, but people also say I want to be a superhero, but they always want to be what they can't be. And so like you genuinely see like the interest in it. And that's like I said for you, like I could not stop looking. So I was like, yo, like I remember being at the show and I was injured when I went to the first show. And I was like, we have a pirate on the show. Like people really go out for all this. And so I was like,
Yeah.
I remember like the first match I had with Ron Holiday at SCWA, like my character was like very straightforward, no play, like just in the zone. And like I don't remember getting any real reactions from anybody. And I was like, because one, people didn't know me there at that place, but two, like
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing either. And even like this most recent show, like at SCWA, we'll use for an example, like the moment I came out the curtain, like I'm loud, I'm very voiceful, like people know like I'm very like animated and people are just like into it like right away. And even like so I ended up wrestling Elora Lunachick, right? The Lunachick, Elora.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so like just getting to play with the fans and stuff and like jockeying back and forth with them and they're laughing with
Yeah.
me. And obviously like Alora, like it was just a wild night. But we had so much fun with the crowd and the crowd was getting involved with us. And
Good.
it was just two comedy characters that were just vibing off each other. And we were just, you could feel like, because like right before our match, right, was the tag title championship match. And then, so you had Pure Ignorance versus Dog Nation, and they had like a great match and the crowd was like really invested into them. So you would figure like the crowd might be kind of drained. So you need to,
Yeah.
but our match is next. And like, I don't know how to hold back. Elora doesn't know how to hold back. So when we hit the ring, like we are super animated, super like, I'm trying to get the ref to break at all times. Like at one point in time, I just put it out there, right? I'm backing Elora up into a corner and I have her in a corner, right? And the ref's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I let go, right? And he goes, let her out the corner. I was like, you need to watch your language. Okay. I was like, that is a lady right there. And you don't tell her what corner she has to come out of because maybe she's happy in the corner, on the corner. And like, yeah. So like it and the crowd heard me and the crowd's laughing about it. And like,
Yeah.
it was just a fun time. And like, I think about the matchups that I've had with like Sicken and Beastman, like like legitimately, like my character, now that my character is like, I kind of finally just let me go. I'm getting the reactions that I want, and I'm like, this is what's supposed to be happening anyway. And so yeah,
Yeah.
it was very tough, like the first couple matches I had, because I was like, I don't know who I am. I just know that I'm a military dude who's very serious about everything, and I don't really interact with the crowd. So I was like, no, we gotta reinvent this
Yeah.
whole thing.
I know you were talking about that you weren't a superhero. Maybe you need to rename yourself Red Dog ESP. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's what she calls herself, the
The
Nikki.
ESTO.
Oh no, wait a minute. That's that.
That's
I'm sorry.
Bianca.
Yeah, that's what's the girl with the cape and
Oh, ASH. Yeah.
ASH. That's it. There you go.
Almost a super.
Yeah, you need to be Red Dog ASH.
Yeah. Well,
Of
it's
course,
funny because like I
you get
took
that, you're going to get a call from Vince, and he's going, "What are you doing, boy? What are you doing?"
we'll just like play off of it, like normally a superhero.
Yeah. There you
But
go.
like so the funny thing is like my character is so much like Deadpool that like I and the way I am in a ring, like obviously I'm like, it's me turned up to a million, and it's a load of fun, and people just genuinely, I can hear like people are now getting like that sense that that's who I am. And
Yeah,
now it's like, all right, so if I start going to other places and start meeting other people, like how am I going to continue to portray this? And that's where the trick is going to come into. And like I've been hitting up other veterans and just asking them like, hey, how would you do this in a new environment, like somewhere you haven't been before? So it's been a lot of fun to like learn and grow. And I know like a lot of guys who've like worked with me before, man, they've come back and they're like, dude, like the change that you have and the growth you've had in your character is just crazy.
yeah. I've changed some things up. One of the big things, when I'd come out with my guy, I would just kind of walk around the ring like I was a badass, and just kind of stare people down and all. And then I started looking at that, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm wasting a good minute and a half, 2 minutes, where I could be going after that crowd. So now I kind of come out. In fact, I did the last Voltage show. Well, it went back to EPPW. There used to be two people went there all the time, and they sat right out by the entranceway. And as soon as you come out, they had the little plastic megaphones. And I was at a yard sale, and I saw a battery powered megaphone. So I painted it gold. I glued gold coins on it, make it look piratey. And so one time I came out and they started yelling at me. I just pulled out from behind me and right in their face, with it full blast. So how do you like this? What do you think about this now? It's not so fun, is it? And so where was it? I used it. Oh, we did some tapings for the Contagion Cup for Outbreak Quarantine, which is kind of like a branch off of Outbreak. We're still part of their shows, but we're kind of a division on our own. And I took it up there for the taping, and it went over pretty good. I'm thinking I'm probably going to use that more because, again, I can't always walk out and get the mic in my hand at every show. That's got to be done sparingly, or it's going to get old. But with a megaphone in my hand, I can yell at people and make fun of them. And I'm not a big guy. I know there's some managers out there that start, like the old joke, must be, if the toothbrush was invented in West Virginia, no, if it had to be invented in West Virginia, because if it was invented anywhere else, it'd be a teeth brush.
A teeth brush.
And, yeah. And I don't like insulting people like that. I'll do generalization, that I don't like them or something like that. But I don't like doing jokes, saying that they smell. And I know one manager passes out bars of soap when he comes in, and says, learn how to use this, That's not my, he does it and he does it good, but it's not my stick. I don't want to belittle people. I just want to make them mad at me,
But you know what? Sometimes like getting that heat, like from sometimes low hanging fruit, it's just fun to pick at. Like I know, like
Yes, I have done it, if the situation presents itself, yeah, I'll come up with some comments. I know at the last voltage show I had set up, because the first time there, Captain Mango is I had a $90,000 motorcycle, and I had girls that work with me as my winches and mermaids. So Captain Mango always had, models around him. And so I do the first voltage show, and I know the owners of the bar where it's at. And I said, I need a hot chick to walk out with me. They said, we got a bartender on good. So she walks out on the patio, and then between that time and just a couple of weeks ago, I talked her into wearing a winch outfit and going out and walking around with me, and I told her to, not follow my instructions a couple times. And, one time I said, you know what? In West Virginia, Martinsburg, West Virginia is known for adult entertainment places, strip bars. And so I told her, and I yelled at her and said, your ass can go back in there bartending. I said, I'll go across the street and get me a real winch.
nice. Oh man, that would have gone over so well.
Yeah, people that could hear it. That's the thing. Little crowds, you can, if they're not as loud, they can hear everything you say. When you get to the bigger crowds, then what you say vocally might only hit the first, second row.
Right.
So
yeah, I was working and Elora was there, and she had her tongue, and she does the blue tongue thing. And I was like, can someone help? She looks like a giant lizard. And people were just like, I heard someone in the crowd randomly go, it looks like she ate a smurf. And I was like, oh, that's good.
she's the girl that travels with the caveman guy.
Yeah, she travels with Uggy and Crazy Shay. Yeah.
Crazy Shay. Now, is she married to one of them?
Crazy Shay.
Crazy Shay. Yeah, I told both of them that last show we were out at, all three of those characters. I enjoyed that show. They got their characters down. They got their characters down, especially Crazy Shay. I've heard tales about him way before I ever met him. I don't think he does the fire thing anymore. I don't know. He was the guy that did and that went bad, right?
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
At least that's what I remember hearing.
Yeah. I tell you, man, I'd have to think hard of somebody that I can think of a couple people over the 3 close to 4 years I've been involved in pro wrestling. But man, most of the locker rooms are just great guys. There's a couple, and to me, as coming from an outsider, just getting into it, that kind of surprises me, because there's not anybody that's in this business that doesn't have an ego, because if you don't have some kind of ego that needs fed, you wouldn't get in this type of business.
Right.
But most of them, they go out there, do their entertaining, and then when we come back to the locker room, then they're just normal guys. And I don't see a lot of egos carried over, unless somebody got potatoed or
that happens. That happens.
Yeah, and that happens, or get a pile of chairs thrown on them. Then they get a little pissy, but
Yeah, they get signed on some Legos. It happens.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the things, if like that, if the opponent had an inkling of what was going to happen, they might be okay. But when it's just from out of the blue, they get a little upset.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you mentioned that, though, man, being in and out of different locker rooms all the time for like the last 3-4 years. I'm curious, give me a do and a don't of the locker room.
Well, actually, a do and a don't is going to be the same thing. Do no matter what locker room you go in, and I've seen this from people who's been, stars at WWE, on their I guess downhill side now, doing independent shows. When you walk into the locker room, make sure you say hi and shake everybody's hand. And the don't go into the locker room and not say hi and shake everybody's hand, no matter how big a star you are, because at some point you were that kid there for your first show, and I see it all the time. Like I said, there's, I've run into a couple people, only a few, actually I can only think of one name, but I know there's been one or two other, but there are very few that just think that they're better than the rest of the locker room. And and in independent wrestling, if you'd be that much better than everybody else in that locker room, you probably wouldn't still be in independent wrestling. You might be. So like I said, there's some egos there they're very few. Most of them are like, they're there to entertain the crowd. And the veterans, most of the veterans I've never met any of them that haven't been nice. And, you can sit there as much as time will allow, and they'll just feed you what knowledge they have, which is great. I don't know you see that in a lot of locker rooms and stuff. I've never been athletic enough to participate in a lot of sports, so I haven't ever seen a lot of locker rooms. But man, I tell people, these locker rooms of professional wrestling, those guys are like that, man. Because it's professional wrestling is it's got some risky stuff to it, and every time when you go out there, I don't have to tell you this, but every time you go out there, you're depending on that other guy to protect you, and vice versa. You're going to protect him. I mean, that's always the last thing I hear from promoters is, just be safe tonight, because it's, it's in lots of times it's just a matter of of inches. I say, I'm glad you all do what you do. I just stand out there and cause havoc and choke out people and maybe throw hot sauce every now and then, but I'm right there at ringside, and some of the shit I see you all do off the top rope, and I don't even know the words of some of the stuff, but I'm like, man, I can't, that had to look good to the crowd, and because I'm right there at ringside, and it looked damn good to me. So I don't know how much I appreciate everybody I've met in professional wrestling. It's I love this sport, or sport entertainment, depending on.
It don't matter. It's pro wrestling. I love being involved with it, and all the stuff that I've been able to grow with in just the last couple of years. It's been, well, I didn't even say it like that. Last 19 some months that I've been involved. It's been super entertaining. So this does take me though to the second best segment of the 3 Count podcast. The first best is the Red Dogs Power Rankings. So if you ask me, I'm going to tell you that you can catch them live on our debate show every Sunday. It is the Red Dogs Power Rankings. But this is the 3 Count podcast, 10 count questions. And Mr. Decapitate, this is how it's gonna work. I'm sorry, Captain Decapitate, this is how it's gonna work.
Good. Yep. Watch yourself there. Watch
Yeah,
yourself.
yep. I'm gonna ask you 10 questions, rapid fast.
Okay.
And then whatever your answer is, that's your answer.
Is this PG friendly?
Oh, this is absolutely R-rated.
Okay, good. Because
So,
if I don't have an answer for you, I'm probably gonna go, oh fuck.
all right. So let's
Okay,
put on
we'll try it. One.
imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing. And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
Raw.
Favorite movie?
Oh, probably Titanic.
A
Except for
Marvel.
the love story. Except for the love story part.
I just like the part where the boat goes under.
Oh, I don't know how many times I've watched that because, you know, again, with movies, I've always watched movies like, man, how do they do that? And that would, to me, that was the coolest part. I always thought if I ever got involved in movies or any production, it'd be from the background,
Mm.
you know, to do that stuff. But yeah, Titanic, I just watch it for I don't know how they do that. I understand the set and everything, but I don't understand how they do it. Yeah,
Listen,
Titanic.
I've watched that movie like 50 plus times. I still can't believe that they crashed into the iceberg. I always think it's going to change. Never happens. So guys,
You would think after 50 times they'd
veer to the left,
yeah. I mean, they only had to
take it straight on.
maybe 10 feet, 12 feet. It was, I've always had a, I don't know, a thing for the Titanic. I don't know. In fact, I have a picture here in my apartment. It was by an artist named Ken Marshall. It does a lot of Titanic paintings. And I went to see that exhibit that was going around the United States. And the only thing that they'll bring up from the Titanic that they'll make money off of, that they'll sell, is pieces of coal. And so I got it framed real nice, and I got 3 pieces of coal in this picture. And so, did it really come from the Titanic? I don't know. I like collecting autographs. That picture I bought of Derek Jeter because I'll never meet him. Did Derek Jeter sign that? I don't know. But as long as I was willing to pay X amount of money for it, and it's hanging on my wall, and I go, Derek Jeter signed that. That's all that matters to me. When I die, I don't know who's going to get my shit, but whoever gets it, they'll take it to somebody, and they'll go, that's not Derek Jeter's. I'm not going to worry about it by then. You might as well reset your timer now.
No, it's fine. Marvel or DC?
Don't know much about either one.
Cool. So favorite color?
Green, because that's my name.
I'm curious about this one though. Sonic or Mario?
Again, I was never into that. I was never into comic books. I was never into playing video games. I'd say probably Mario, simply because I know who he is, Sonic. That's the hedgehog, right?
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know.
All the crowd that watches this show, they're gonna be like, how does he not know who Sonic is?
What's funny is when I get into making horror movies, I have to really think to be able to tell you the difference between Jason and Michael Myers.
Mm.
I know one of them broke out of a mental hospital, the other one got drowned in a lake. And if I really think about it, I can tell you who's who. But and they're like, how do you make horror movies and you don't know that simple stuff? And I go, do you have to? Is that? I mean, I know who Freddy Krueger is. Michael Myers and Jason. They're so close.
One's got a machete, the other one just carries a butcher knife. That's it.
And one of them wears a hockey mask, and the other one wears a William Shatner mask turned inside out.
Yep.
Speaking of that, to go off, do you see where I heard next week William Shatner is going to go into space?
Oh my goodness!
On one of those rides, he's like 90 years old, and he's going to go. But that is so cool that Captain Kirk is finally going to get to go into outer space.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
Kirk is gonna be in space officially. That's
Oh, I don't have too many. I've done just about everything I've wanted in life. I mean, I'd like to go down to the Titanic. I'd like to go into outer space. Like to see Machu Picchu. But other than that, I don't have. I've done my bucket list like 10 times over. You know, but outer space, yeah, I'd love, but I'll never have that kind of money. But okay, next question.
favorite nickname.
Oh man, I growing up, I never had a nickname. I don't now. It seems strange to me when people just call me Jess. I'm not used to. I've never had a nickname.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here's a big question. Blackbeard or Davy Jones?
Oh, Blackbeard. Oh, that's an easy one there, man. Blackbeard. He was the man, especially in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie where Blackbeard was in it. And Ian McShane was Blackbeard. Ian McShane is if he's not, he's in my top 3 of favorite actors.
Mm,
You know,
I love Ian McShane. I loved him as.
I loved him in Deadwood.
Oh yes, yes.
Man. I was so glad with Deadwood that because it ended pretty abruptly after 3 seasons. And then it was like, what, 10, 11, 12 years? And I never thought they'd make and they finally did. They made a movie, but David Milch wouldn't do it if he couldn't get every character back, every person playing every character. And it was funny. You watch, because I don't watch a lot of series. I don't, especially years ago when it was, before VCRs and all that. I've never liked to be that I've got to be in my house every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 o'clock to watch an episode of something. I don't like that. And I can't, if I start watching a show and it doesn't get me in like the first show, maybe 2 shows, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. My ADD, I can't if you don't grab me. But Deadwood is by far, you didn't ask me that, but Deadwood is by far my favorite TV show ever. I watched that over and over.
I'm a big fan of Ian McShane as well, because I loved him in Kung Fu Panda, actually, as the voice of Tai Lon. Like, he was just one of my favorites.
The cartoon, I didn't even know he did that.
Yeah, it was just his voice is so iconic. And so when I saw him in Death Race, I was like, duh.
I liked him in what's called too. We Are Marshall.
Mm.
I liked him in that. He played the one kid's father. But yeah, anything I see him in, he's, he's kind of the same character every time. I've never seen him. All the other characters, he's kind of still the guy from Deadwood, just doesn't cuss as much.
Okay, so let's get in. Favorite podcast?
What's it say here? 3 Count Podcast.
That's that's right. That's right.
That's what it says there. Yeah.
All right. Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Oh, Sabal's going to kick my butt if I don't say him, but I'd have to. Have you had Sicken on before?
I've had Sicken on.
Oh, geez. And I'd say, even though we got the feud now, I am actually looking forward to this because I just, I've always, admired him as a performer. And now that I get to be involved in a storyline with him, that's like, even though we're going to kick your ass, just Nick, just don't take it personal. It's nothing personal here.
It's only business.
its only business. And if you wouldn't have that gold belt around your waist, I wouldn't even be picking on you. So you know what you got to do. You could, next time Beastman shows up at a show, why don't you be nice? They'll introduce us first. We'll be in the ring. Just come out and just give it to Beastman. Go, man, I know you're a better man than me. I don't want my ass kicked again. I don't want to get hit by chairs. So here, you can just have it.
Hey,
Nobody would think less of you,
no,
I mean, because have you seen the difference between Beastman and Sicken?
yeah.
It's like, so that's what I suggest you do at the Voldy show down the road, Nick. Just walk out, come into the ring, give a little speech if you want to, and just hand the belt over to us, and then you won't get hurt.
All right. Well, last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this show: favorite curse word.
Oh, well, we were just talking about, it's not my favorite curse word. We were just talking about Deadwood, so I'd have to say cocksucker. You cocksucker. Favorite scene in that whole thing is, what was it? The Chinese guy, Mr. Wu. And anyhow, they were talking about exchanging a criminal for some other people, and Swearengin, and I didn't say that name right, but Ian McShane's character and Mr. Wu are going back and forth, and they go, and he goes, "I'll trade you 2 cocksuckers for 1 cocksucker." And Wu goes, "No, 2 cocksuckers for 2 cocksuckers. No, I didn't say that. I said 2 cocksuckers for 1 cocksucker." And it goes on for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then it's such a funny scene. But probably my favorite cuss word is just fuck. It can be used so many,
Yep, a great F-bomb.
It can be used so many ways, and it's still not accepted, a lot. But damn, it's a good word.
It's a great word. Yes.
What are you going to do? What are you going to say in place of it? Freak or damn or
frick.
Just say fuck.
Look, Ralphie said it. He was okay. I mean, he got a bar of soap in his mouth. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. Now, see, I know that was Christmas Story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? It's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye. You know what? I wouldn't say sheltered. I just never saw it growing up. I never saw that whole movie until maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
2 years ago. I'd seen bits and pieces. So, I'd have known what movie you were referencing by that, and about shooting your eye out and getting the BB gun and, and all that. But I'd never, in the leg, the lamp, I knew all about that, but I had never seen the whole movie until 2, maybe 3 years ago.
What did Ralphie call that leg? Was it the steaming pile of sex? Something steaming light of sex or something like that coming out of our house. Like, it was something ridiculous. I was laughing about it. I randomly remember seeing the scene, and then I remember him talking about the neighbors coming around and seeing I think it was called the Light Festival of Sex coming from our house or something like that. It was
I couldn't believe
one of you guys will put it in the comments. I know you will.
I couldn't believe when I finally did watch the movie that the father got that and then put it right on the stand, right in the front window of the house.
Right.
You'd be surprised how many times I've seen that, because I'm a contractor and I get in a lot of houses. You'd be surprised how many times I see one of those lamps in a house. It's
It's
an iconic thing. None of them are ever as big as that one. I mean, that one looked like it was a big ass table lamp. The ones you see are only like a foot tall, but it's the same thing.
Well, Batman, those are all my questions I have for you, to include the 3 Count Podcast 10 Count
Batman.
questions. So
you call me Batman?
Yeah. Is that what does not? No, we said Captain. And secondly, I need the viewers and the listeners know where they can find you.
You said Batman.
No, I said Captain.
Well, I could be getting old.
Maybe.
I am old. I could be. Maybe I didn't hear that right.
I
Yeah,
mumble a lot too. It's not fair.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Well, where they can find me is I'm on my Captain Mango has the radio show. It's called Trop Rock Bay. It's on a internet radio station called Radio Free Help City. Every night from 6 to 7, I'm on there. About that, start doing a second show. Can't give you any details of when it's on, but it's going to be called, doing it with a friend of mine, it's going to be called Storytellers. And it's going to be, every song in there is going to be a story song, or every song has a story,
Mm.
you know? And so that should be pretty interesting. The Captain Decapitate, you know, man, just watch where, you know, keep an eye on my page. I have Facebook page for Captain Decapitate. I got one for Captain Mango. I got one for Radio or Trop Rock Bay. But best way to follow me, see what I'm doing, is just go on Jesse L. Green. I'm not real. I need to get some like ninth grader to show me how to do all this social media shit. I was talking to someone last week that does this stuff, and I told her, I said, you know, look, I got a web page like half set up, you know, and I'm at wit's end. I don't know how to do anything else. So I need somebody to get me over that hump. But
No,
yes,
I
that
understand.
and movies right now. I've only got I got movies coming out that have been finished that, you know, there should be in the next 6-8 months, probably 3-4 movies that I'm in. I wrote a movie that I'm working on getting that set up to and setting up a production company to do that. And I'm committed to one movie. I'm excited about this because the role was actually written for me, and it's called Anna Key, kind of a takeoff of Anarchy. And I, of course, play me, character like me, that befriends a young girl that's, you know, just out there, you know, like I was at 23.
Nice.
And of course, I try to, you know, lead her down the straight and narrow. But, you know, hell, we were 23. Would we have listened to a 70-year-old guy? You know, probably not. We'd have figured, what the hell do they know? But now that I am 70, we know whatever you're going through, I've been through, you know, I've been through. So that should be an interesting movie. Where hopefully we're going to start shooting that next summer, next fall.
Awesome.
And that might be my last starring role movie. You know, I love doing the professional wrestling so much, and to commit to you know, an independent movie, you're committing to a lot of weekends for 2, 3, maybe 4 months. And with professional wrestling now in the forefront, I can't, you know, I can't take that time slot out. But I committed to this movie back before COVID. So this might be my last starring role. That's not going to say that I'm not going to be in movies. I'm just not going to. I'll make. I guess at 70 years old, I can say I'll just do cameos.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. So what does that mean? Well, we gotta take it home. Yeah, take this home. We're going for the finish, because that is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. And like I said, I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. That's right, you can call me your Sherpa, but like every good Sherpa, you've had to have someone who's been there, done that, and can show you a more efficient way to get there. And so it's never about me, it's about who's entering the ring. And today, you see him right there. He is the man of many names. You can call him Jess, you can call him Jess Green, you can call him Captain Mango, you can call him Captain Decapitate, but don't you call him Captain Crunch. But you know what to do.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even touch on that shit, did we? Yeah, don't call me Captain Crunch. Don't ever call me Captain Crunch. You can get away calling me Batman every now and then. but don't call me Captain Crunch.
Who
So-
doesn't want to be Batman? Everybody wants to be
Yeah.
Batman.
Hey, I'm Captain Decapitate. Why would I want to be Batman?
I mean,
You know, I'm a pirate.
yeah.
Why would I want to be Batman?
I mean, I'm
Anyhow.
pretty sure Batman's probably out there wanting to be a pirate at one time.
Probably. I think
He-
I think Mark Twain once said, I know I don't have it verbatim, but I think Mark Twain said that you know, all of us at some point in life have thought about throwing away everything and just sailing off under a black, you know, a Jolly Roger and being a pirate.
He's not
He said
wrong.
it probably in 10 words, what I just took me 30 to say, but then I'm not freaking Mark Twain, so you know. So
But
we're
like
gonna
we
do,
always
we're gonna
say.
do the 3 count like a referee.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do the 3 count. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
But
Right.
like we always tell you guys know what to do. So be there, or you just wait till this episode ends. You wait for the outro and you pick another episode to listen to.
I'm waiting for the 3 count ref.
There's no 3 count ref. Peace.